An odd and funky little title at you, the inbetweeners, which can mean anything and everything about anything. But I just like the ring of it. No, I'm speaking in particularly my thoughts on people that are because we all know that we've got like this awareness scale, this consciousness scale to speak of. It's a spectrum, kind of, right? It's really important to be thinking about what that means in the grand scheme of things, because there's always that sense that when it comes to the biggest psyops, that the people that I would call the quote in-betweeners on the spectrum, they're going to get duped in the ways that count the most, because there's no doubt that whatever's coming, they're going to work on faceting it as a narrative and as a standard of believability that works for the people that are in between. And this is what makes gatekeepers the important thing that they are. And, oops, hang on here. Oh, with the lovely of the traffic. Hold on a second. There we go. Hey, there we are. All right. There we are. Had a chance. My Cherie is now has a wrench. See that? Sure, that's what a wrench feels like. Now you know what it's like to have power in a check. My Cherie's she's like the wrench master general over here. Anyway, what we got here? Quite QSB. What's up, dude? Right place on the awareness spectrum. Right. And Grand Rising, voluntary de-occultist. Hey, how's it going, man? You're new. Good to see a new face here on a random ass Tuesday rising. So yeah. Like sometimes I feel like often I feel like that spectrum just has to do with how seriously you take Socratic doubt, right? Just like many a person, Greek philosophical foundations, or Socrates is kind of an anti-foundation. Socrates is your deconstruction, right? Socrates is at its most essential root the idea of assumptions, right? And I think that the way that we're taught history is that you're looking at this huge tradition of an argument that's been going on since before the Common Era, and that all of the doubt has already been cast, right? You think you got enough of it nailed down because you got Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, right? That's the Greek trinity that they teach you in college about the subject of philosophy as a whole, as a concept in Western civilization, right? And this is not to talk about what it takes to fool somebody in Eastern civilization under their language constructs, right? Because a great deal of philosophy or almost the essence of philosophy is taking a word and making you realize that word means something more significant than you've ever applied it to your baseline thinking. What's up, Violence? I got five people on my way to work here. 5 people listening to me. 8:30 in the morning. Oh shit, I said morning. 8:30 in the rising, right? It's easy for me to like greet with a grand rising, but then it's just like, it's also getting used to saying it in the parlance. So, it's, but to truly answer your question, QSB, is to basically just look at it and just like, if you're already just like in doubt, like if you doubt pretty much all institutions and you can rely on yourself and you can make sure when it counts that the sources that you base your knowledge on when you have to act are true and correct, right? Because you may have to have a reptilian reaction to something where you're just like, oh shit, right? And you snap, right? And your brain is going to go on automatic, and it may get informed by everything that you would know in a relaxed state of mind. But by and large, you're working off of muscle memory and surface thoughts to function optimally when you are in a state of alarm, in which your reptilian mind is protecting you at all cost as the guardian of your experience in the world. And that's a very important thing to understand about your reptilian mind, is how it's trying to guards your soul like the golden hoard that the dragon loves, right? It's just like, yeah, it's sitting on your soul, but you're still the boss. Yeah, you have to remember that. He's just the gatekeeper to all your vulnerabilities, right? The dragon won't let anything hurt you. It's your dragon. It's your child. You know? It ain't gonna let anybody hurt you. Or it's your mother. Something like that. Yeah, we all get it. Dragon mother archetypes, etc., etc. But point is that your dragon is not going to ever hurt you. But it will never disobey you. But you have to know how to bond with your reptilian in order to have that, right? And so it's it's knowing when alarming things happen, perhaps things that can be perceived as a threat, and your capability of holding posture so that way you and your dragon have time to be informed, right? Over time, my iguana became informed as to me as a person, to the point where very little of my more bombastic actions, me moving quickly or lumbering around and being a big body in the room or whatever, doesn't freak him out in the slightest. In fact, he'll close his eyes and get comfortable because he sees the big hand coming, but he associates that hand with pleasure, not threat, because it's just coming to give him good touch and make him happy. Anyway, and so, like, for me, I could be something like my iguana is not really ever going to, quote, take me for granted, but I am like a force of nature in its life. And I would have to show probably a consistent track record of breaking trust through harm. I would have to be deliberately harming him, to get his memory to switch over to saying, oh no, now he associate with pain and threat, and then he'll go back to the hostile posture when I first met him. That can always happen, because that should always happen. I've turned against him. I've become his enemy. I've become his monster, right? So sometimes it has to do with the betrayal, right? And your reptilian has a certain wisdom about betrayal that then your rational higher mind has to have time to process, to assess, rationalize, articulate. Sometimes there's a verbal component, especially when the issue involves our relationships with other people, as they almost always do. Otherwise, we're not talking about anything but the weather. It's just like, what are your problems in your life? It's either other people or fucking acts of nature. Other than that, there aren't other problems. People are problems for you, and natural disasters are problems for you, and nothing else is a fucking problem, right? If this vehicle fucks up, it's the driver or it's the engineering of it all, right? All those kinds of things become problems, and those source from other people. Those are the two things that basically make up change in our world. Other people and forces of nature. So you see, we're in this period now between, since the 2016 to 2020 and 21 period, we were in this period of being shown how foolish it is to sit on your laurels about what the world is and who you can trust and what people's motives, alternatives, and agendas are, so on and so forth. And so the people that are the in-betweeners are mostly sitting in the realm of the deconstruction. They're mostly sitting in the realm of the deconstruction, and they're sitting in that realm of deconstruction because there's things that they don't want to transcend. They're not ready to break out of certain beliefs. They're still hunting for the reinforcement of the lie that they would prefer be the truth of the world. Those are the kinds of people that, if you yourself are going to be in a lot of trouble when they either execute the next psyop or something happens akin to the Phoenix event. If I hadn't said it before, I recently noticed, I have to watch it, that Jason Brashears of Archaics was on the Unslaved podcast. I had always liked the work of Jason Brashears. I thought it was wise when I heard counsel about this, that I hold off, that I don't use or cite Jason because of that sordid history that could come back and destroy somebody's reputation or something like that, right? And you know what? There's very few people that on that level of judgment I trust, right? So that's like a good point, right? Like, this could be my blinders, but I still have time because the next bullshit hasn't hit the fan yet. I got time to grow in wisdom over this idea. Who could? I got time. So a lot of my worldview, a lot of my trust was built off of not the particular academic lessons of anybody, whether that be Jason, whether that be Michael Tsarion, or anybody that I've ever cited and given the shout out or said that, oh man, I love these ideas, I got these ideas from that guy. I'm mostly saying it that way to you just to sum up the deeper understanding by which I say that these guys are, right? But I also know a thing or two about wisdom and their wisdom that they have, right? And if they aren't worried about the allegations, and everybody knows about the allegations, right? Jason never tries to not talk about it. He has the courage to make sure it's talked about, to understand where he came from, what he went through, what his position, or what the state's position on him since that case and everything is, and everything else. Yeah, no, so now that that's out the box, I'm just like, I want to throw my support back in, right? Because everybody's working on all sorts of different things. And right now my work is really personal and giving you a testimony about my personal experience with my life in application of being free of the mindset, not letting facts let everybody complains about, like having a matrix job and the way your time is taken from you. It's just like, it's fine. There's an element of karma, fairness of the universe, all those things. In my soul, in my body, in my personal world, I've got everything protected, under control, secured. The othala of the thing, the algaes of the thing, the thorisage of the thing, all the protections. Everything's good. And it gives me time for all this personal development, because whether it's a natural event or a psyop, or whatever issue that arises, I want to have all those faculties prepared for it. At the very least, me within myself. We must think outside of the Tesseract. Precisely. And he who keeps the Tesseract wants that for you, right? It's part of that bad rap that the true essence of Shaitan or Sensei wants for you, right? Yeah, in the Eastern tradition, it's Sensei, right? That's quote unquote Satan is the Sensei. It is the teacher. It is the strict. It's kind of a strict tutor and all that stuff, right? And you can put that idea together any way you wanna slice it. All right. I want to sneak this token real quick before I go in. I got a little deodorant thing. I won't smell bad. There we go. All right. A nice good puff to get to work. All right. I got to get to work, people. I will catch you later. Keep growing your wisdom. Keep breaking your assumptions. Keep attaining true gnosis. Keep building yourself. Don't make apologies. Don't let the approval of others, even within our own movement, deter you from doing what you got to do for yourself. And, just be the best person you can be, and be the best person you can be towards others. Hinterlanders! I'll catch you later.